Reacting to this song is both shameless self-promotion because I recently did a cover to this song and I'd love if you could check it out, but also because on that cover loads of people were like, you have to listen to this version of it. So I wanted to, and it has been a massive hit. I think people kind of forget with people who are funny that actually often they're really, really good. And Jack Black's voice. Pass the guitar around.
What a wicked game to play, to let me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you.
He has such warmth in his tone. I love how his voice has aged over the years as well. It feels gritty and warm, and you hear the life in it. He's someone who's got incredible range, and I'm not sure he's going to do it in this song. I'm not sure. I mean, certainly this song often is quite an understated song in how people sing it because that's the emotion of the song, but he has the ability to hit these massive high notes, to jump back. And what's also lovely with the two of them, with Jack Black and Kyle Glass, is that they just have so much chemistry between them as comedic partners, but also as musicians together. It means that you get this, it just feels really together. It has real unity, and you hear this a lot with musicians. I've worked in bands where it's like a pool of singers and a pool of musicians, and some days will come together and everything will gel really well because the musicians naturally blend well, and some days it feels a little bit wonky because it just doesn't jive in the same way. And when you get people working together that just understand each other emotionally, then that often comes across musically, and I think that's why they work. And as I say, even though they're both really, really funny people, it doesn't mean they're not good. And I think we often forget that because we're so like, it's so silly. And I mean, comedy in itself takes a heck of a lot of skill and talent.
What a wicked thing to say. You never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you. And I don't wanna fall in love.
Now these flips are really interesting and difficult in some ways, and it depends on how you approach your head voice. Often in your chest voice, your vocal cords are held together and they're a little bit thicker. So the airflow behind them, you can often give it a little bit more airflow to get that sound. And then what happens as we kind of go up to our head voice, we thin out our vocal cords. They often can't deal with it. So you get, and then you get like a horrible sound like that. Not happening here. He is really managing his airflow. And backing off a little bit. It feels like, and he looks like he's giving it his good performance face, but if you pushed into it with the same amount of air pressure, then you're likely to get a little bit of a break. So if you are working on your head voice, it's not about collapsing and having airflow like you want your airflow to be lovely and consistent, but you don't want to drive it. So a nice relaxed breath in, thinking of your air being nice and low in your body and no tension in the top. I always think of your ribcage kind of hanging from your shoulders here, and it's just hanging below. You breathe in. I like to think of the bottom of my ribs, that helps me, but some people like to think of it breathing into their belly. Although technically our lungs only go to the bottom of our ribcage, but whatever helps you mentally. Breathe in, and then your out breath, really gentle and slow. I either like to think of it like squeezing out the air in a bagpipe, like you're, or like the Dementors from Harry Potter. you know? So if you think of that nice even breath, that can really help you, and you just don't want to give it that extra drive when you go up to your head voice. In fact, maybe the opposite.
No, I don't want to fall in
That was like a
love
mixer. Pretty cool.
with you.
I'm only giggling because you said with you, which I think is maybe just an accent thing.
Nobody loves no one.
Nice. I really wanted to just talk about some of his vowel choices and his tongue. You can see a little bit of his tongue lifting there, and that is something that I often guard against, but for some people it does really work. There was like a period of time where that instead of nobody, he's not saying E, he's saying and then moving his tongue kind of up and back. And that gives a very specific sound that was really, really popular, especially in the 90s. But beware, because that sound often comes with, you have to move your tongue back and a little bit tenser. And if that tension stays for other vowels, then it can cause problems and instability. However, if you are someone who is able to control that, go for it. You probably won't have that problem. So play around with that if you're trying that sound. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe. Please go and check out my cover of Wicked Game. It's really different than this. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.